Chosen one, if you're hearing this now, it's not random. It's the sign that your true power has already begun to rise. There's a force beyond sight that knew exactly when to bring you here. Your heart answered before your mind even realized something was calling. In the depths of your struggle, when no one could see your pain, they thought they had dimmed your fire. They never knew that every trial was fueling a light that could burn down walls. What if I told you that what tried to destroy you is now the very thing that reveals your destiny? You may doubt what you felt, but know this, your silent fight has been noticed in realms you cannot name. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because what you learn here will shatter every lie they ever told you about who you really are. The sacred placement in fire. Soft embers danced behind closed eyelids as you drifted between dream and wakefulness, sensing a faint warmth that felt strangely familiar. In that space, you saw yourself standing barefoot on smoldering coals, the heat rising in ripples around your ankles. A gentle voice whispered through the smoke, asking, "Do you remember who you were before this fire?" You felt both fear and curiosity stir in your chest. That moment was your invitation to step into a deeper truth, that your path has always been guided by an ancient flame. What you once dismissed as a troubling dream now shines as the first sign that every heartbreak, every trial, led you here for a purpose far greater than you ever knew. Inside your chest there is a hollow echo you've carried for as long as you can remember, a place where you felt unmoored and strangely alone. In a crowded classroom, you watched laughter swirl around you like gusts of wind, while your own voice stayed hidden. At night, your heart throbbed with questions you could not speak. You might have blamed your sensitivity on something broken or wrong, as if you were a lone pebble tumbling in a vast, indifferent river. Those days felt endless and confusing, and you wondered if you were doomed to wander without a guide. Yet that very longing, so tender and raw, was the spark waiting to ignite the power they feared you'd never discover. What if every tear you shed, every moment you felt adrift, was woven into a grand tapestry beyond your sight? There has always been an unseen design shaping your journey. Scripture speaks of the refiner's fire in Malachi 3 verses 2-3, where the refiner sits close by, watching over the metal until impurities vanish. You were never left alone by chance. Your loneliness was never a fault line. It was a spiritual forge. In this light, your confusion becomes a sacred geography, marking places where courage was quietly born. The architecture of your soul has been built in these hidden corridors, and now you begin to see its purposeful blueprint. Subtle signs have been slipping through the cracks of your daily life. If only you knew where to look. Perhaps you felt a sudden chill as you passed an empty street and wondered why your heart skipped. Or you woke with the taste of salt on your lips, as though tears from another realm had touched you. Sometimes a phrase in a book or song would grip you with uncanny familiarity, like an echo from ages past. These moments are not random glitches. They are breadcrumbs laid out by the divine, guiding you back to the truth of who you are. Each quiet signal hums with promise, promising that your awakening is more than a dream. It is destiny in motion. You might have dismissed these inklings as coincidence, but your intuition has never misled you. That small voice inside your mind, the one they told you to silence, has been your truest compass. When your skin prickles during a hushed sunset or you feel a gentle tug at your spirit in moments of stillness, know that you have always walked with unseen company. This awakening does not crash in like a tidal wave. It seeps in like dawn light through a narrow window. Your heart learns to recognize its own rhythm all over again. Take a breath now and allow yourself the safety to feel this truth settling gently in your bones. Deeper awareness unfurls when you understand that you are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you have always been. Beneath the weight of doubt and the scars of pain lies an identity untouched by fear. In Ephesians 4 verse 24 we read that we are to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Yet this self was never lost. It was simply buried under layers of noise and neglect. As you shed old stories and step into this recovery process, you feel the contours of your soul reshaping. It feels like greeting an old friend you hadn't realized you missed until that exact moment. Now, imagine placing a single coin on the edge of a table, nudged just enough to set off a cascade of movement. Your willingness to embrace your sensitivity and hunger for meaning is that gentle nudge. Feel the confidence rising as you claim your inner wisdom, the knowledge that your fears are stepping stones, not dead ends. You stand here ready to own your power, slow and steady. This is your first activation, a deliberate shift from bystander to participant in your own destiny. Each small step forward is a declaration that you refuse to hide your gift any longer. You arrived here because nothing about your story was by accident. Your path through fire was an initiation, not a derailment. Breathe in the truth that your presence in this very moment is proof that you are recognized by forces beyond sight. Comment awakened if you feel this flame glow inside you now. And as you hold this knowledge close, prepare for the next revelation, where the silence that once tormented you will become the sacred altar on which your true purpose stands revealed. And special thanks to our founding members whose faith lights this path. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. When the world turned away, heaven watched. A soft tremor ran through your spine the moment you noticed the pattern. Doors you once opened now slammed shut, conversations that flowed smoothly before turned icy, and a subtle whisper of doubt trailing every compliment you received. Something in the atmosphere shifted, as though an invisible current had reversed and was pushing you back. You might have shrugged it off at first, blaming mood swings or coincidence, but deep down, a part of you knew this resistance had a design. The discomfort wasn't just in your mind. It was woven into the fabric of your days, a quiet yet persistent reminder that you were up against forces determined to keep you small. Beneath those closed doors and frosty glances lay a pounding in your chest that never quite subsided. You carried shame for feeling too much, guilt for daring to stand out, and a lonely ache when your instincts led you into rooms where no one else seemed willing to follow. Each rejection became a silent indictment, convincing you that you were broken, too sensitive, perhaps even undeserving of kindness. Shame dripped into your dreams, turning them into restless nights where your mind replayed every awkward moment and every slight you could remember. It was as if the world conspired to make you shrink, and for a while you almost did. Yet this was no random campaign against your peace. Like a hidden algorithm in ancient machinery, there existed a structure beneath the surface deliberately calibrated to thwart your rise. In the desert wanderings of Israel, Moses led a people into trials not for punishment but to reveal their inability to rely on anything but divine provision. Your own journey mirrored this: systems of skepticism, energies of fear, and people enmeshed in their own limitations reacted when your potential began to glow. Just as the prophets faced opposition from priests and kings, so too did you sense unseen guardians of the old order bristle at your emerging light. If you look back now, you'll see the markers you missed. That job that ended the moment you asked for more creative freedom, the friendships that dissolved when you refused to be silent, the projects abandoned when you spoke up for justice. These were not mere coincidences but patterns drawn in the sand by an unseen hand. It felt like flicking on a hidden lamp in a pitch-black room. Suddenly you notice every stone in your path. Betrayals you once brushed off now sharpen into clarity, revealing a map of obstacles placed to test your resolve and clarify your vision. There were times when the air around you seemed suffocatingly heavy, as though you were breathing through water. Your thoughts grew foggy. Meetings registered like static on an old television screen. You sensed hidden watchers in corners you couldn't see, and conversations would die the moment you entered the space. Doors that once welcomed you grew silent, and corridors of opportunity felt blocked by walls you couldn't climb. In Exodus, we read how Pharaoh's heart was hardened against Moses again and again. Your own trials carried that same echo of deliberate resistance. In response, you learned to fold inward, to wrap yourself in a cloak of invisibility. You became the perfect chameleon, taking on the colors of those around you just to slip through the day unseen. Some days you people pleased until exhaustion set in. Others you rebounded with a quiet defiance, rebelling in small ways but never quite staking your claim. You wondered if this ceaseless pushback meant you were unworthy or if you were being taught to fear your own voice. The temptation to give up, to let the resistance win, hovered at the edge of every decision. But what they meant to use as a cage became your proving ground. Resistance carved out the shape of your purpose, and every closed door sharpened your vision of the hallway beyond. You begin to reclaim the words they stole, the dreams they dismissed, and the career choices they ridiculed. Like Habakkuk's prayer in the shadow of the fig tree, you find new strength. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. Habakkuk 3 verses 17 to 18. This is your declaration. The resistance confirms your calling rather than diminishes it. Here is the truth that hammers through every barrier. You were opposed because you carry a power they cannot contain. The more they tried to dim your light, the more it glowed from within. Comment unshaken if you feel this fire burning in your bones. And as you stand now at the edge of clarity and strength, prepare for the next revelation where the furnace of affliction will reveal not just your resilience, but your unbreakable purpose. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. Fire as a spiritual teacher. A sudden clarity can feel like a spark erupting in the mind. Perhaps you caught yourself tracing the shape of a flame in a candle's flicker and felt a shock of recognition, as though you'd glimpsed a map encoded in light. That moment when you realized your life's trials were not random disasters but carefully placed lessons. That was your first awakening. You begin to see that every hardship carried you closer to this revelation, like a choreographed dance guided by a silent conductor. In that instant, confusion dissolves into an elegant pattern, and you understand that the flames you feared were always pointing you home. Reality itself has been whispering to you in a hidden tongue. Numbers on the clock that echo your birthday, overheard phrases that strike your chest like secret keys, sudden gusts of wind that feel laced with intention. There is a grammar beneath the chaos, a divine geometry in the way sparks scatter when you strike a flint. Think of sacred scrolls unrolling through your days, each event a symbol in a larger script. You are no longer a passive reader. You are learning the alphabet of existence, decoding the lines of power that run through your every moment. Inside you, the breeze of insight grows into a gale. Your intuition, once a timid whisper, now rings clear as a church bell at dawn. You sense the weight of intentions in crowded rooms. You know when a path is safe before you step, and you feel the pull of choices in your bones. Your energy shifts in response to the sun's angle on your skin or the hum of electronics in a room. These aren't coincidences but confirmations, tiny manifestations of the truth you're stepping into. With each pulse of awareness, you recognize that fire's heat has tempered your senses into a luminous blade. Outwardly, the world bends to mirror your inner transformation. Doors that once slammed shut now hesitate, as if curious about your persistence. Allies appear in unexpected places, while those who cling to outdated mindsets reveal themselves by frowning or stalling when you speak. Opportunities and obstacles alike emerge like milestones on a pilgrimage. You begin to understand that divine architecture is unfolding around you, a cosmic blueprint revealing itself in every handshake and street lamp. The same fire that taught you courage now builds a path through the crowd. A voice you once heard only in dreams grows stronger, resonating in your waking hours. You recall a landscape of glowing embers in a dream you could never explain, a vast plain where your feet felt neither pain nor fear. Now that vision returns with clarity, as if you've flipped open a long-lost manuscript of your soul. This sacred memory activates a recognition so deep it hums in your marrow. You realize that the lessons of the fire were never meant to be forgotten. They were coded into your spirit, awaiting this precise moment of awakening. Looking forward, you stop asking for permission and begin reclaiming the future written in the stars. Destiny is no longer a distant promise, but a living presence demanding your partnership. You feel the stir of prophecy in your lips, the certainty that your path was carved before your first breath. Like Joseph interpreting dreams in Pharaoh's court, you now see the patterns that others cannot. You stand at the threshold of what was always meant to be, and the horizon before you is not a question mark but a declaration. This is your time to rise. The resistance you faced was never a verdict on your worth, but a signal flare marking where your voice must echo. The doubts they fed you were borrowed weights you are now casting off. As you speak your truth, you reclaim the power they tried to steal. You feel the roar of your own conviction rise from your belly as though it were a dragon awakened from slumber. This reclamation is fierce and prophetic. You are the living response to every attempt to silence you. The flame has passed through you, and now you burn with authority. Revelation is only the invitation to journey deeper. You have lifted a veil, but beyond it lies another threshold. The truths emerging now are but the first notes of a symphony that will crescendo in your destiny. Know that every symbol you recognize, every pattern you decode, brings you closer to the full unveiling of your purpose. Comment ignited if you feel these sparks roaring inside you, and share a dream, a symbol, or an inner knowing that has shifted your path. Hold fast to this awakening, for the next wave of revelation is already gathering on the horizon. The flame that revealed your power. A sudden stillness settled in your chest as you reached the crossroads of your soul. You paused, feeling the weight of every choice you've ever made press upon you like a gentle hand guiding your gaze forward. No longer could you wander in the shadows of doubt. This was the moment to decide. As the smoke from your past trials drifted away, you sensed a clear fork in the road. One path led back to comfort and old fears, the other into the light of purpose. What will you choose? In that quiet space between heartbeats, you realize that passivity is no longer an option. The next step you take will echo through every corner of your life and beyond. You have poured out your voice into empty rooms, given your time to causes that dimmed your own flame, and surrendered your spirit to expectations that never served you. But this was never wasted, it was your sacred training ground. Now, gather back each fragment of energy you offered away. Speak aloud the words you were afraid to claim. In a ritual as ancient as the stars, call back your power. Your voice, your time, your very presence. This is your reclaiming right. Stand tall and envision your inner throne rising from the ashes, inviting you to sit, to reign, and to shine with an authority that cannot be taken. Within you burns a reservoir of gifts they tried to dismiss as weakness. You carry insight that cuts through illusion, a sensitivity that reads hearts like maps, and a memory that spans lifetimes. Name these treasures now. Call them the keys of knowing, the fire of discernment, the scroll of unseen truths, the armor of resilience. What you once thought was a burden is now your arsenal. Each gift you hold becomes a tool for the journey ahead. You are not fragile, you are forged. Not powerless, but armed with the raw elements of creation itself. Look down at the ground before your feet and see the path already laid out by your every step. It is not hidden in distant dreams, but formed by your own footprints, glowing with the sparks of clarity. With every decisive move, reaching out, speaking up, stepping forward, the map unfolds. A door opens here, a bridge appears there, and the next marker reveals itself in the hush. Your journey is not a quest for purpose. It is the unveiling of a mission that has always been under your feet, waiting for your courage to call it forth. You are not alone on this road. All around the world, others are stirring from slumber, feeling the pulse of a shared awakening. Soul tribes gather in unseen realms, their hearts beating in resonance with yours. This is the rise of a new order, divine clusters of seekers, warriors, and builders, linking hands across time and space. Do not dim your light to fit the old world's fading mold. Your brightness calls to the ones meant to walk beside you, forging a collective blaze that will reshape everything it touches. Now command your energy as a steward of fate. Draw clear lines around what serves your highest truth and let go of what dims your glow. Like a guardian anointing sacred ground, place your intention at the center of your being and declare where your devotion lies. This is not arrogance but a solemn vow, to protect your flame, to channel your gifts, and to honor the power entrusted to you. With every breath, feel yourself anchored in a ceremony of purpose, holding the torch aloft against any storm. Everything you've endured, every fear you faced, every loss you bore, every hidden battle, has guided you to this threshold. You are ready. Speak these words as a vow. I step forward in the strength forged by fire. Let doubt fall away like charred wood. You stand here not by accident but by design, chosen to carry this blazing torch into the world. Your heart thrums with the certainty of prophecy fulfilled. This is your final breath before the leap into destiny's embrace. This moment is your summons. The time for watching is over. The time for acting is now. Comment embodied if you feel your power settling into your bones, and share a memory, challenge, or inner knowing that anchors your purpose. Carry this truth with you into every dawn, for the next wave of revelation rises just beyond the horizon, ready to shape the world through your hands. A flicker of moonlight on an ancient scroll. This is the vision that greets your spirit now, reminding you that every scar you carry has been inscribed with purpose. In this sacred epilogue, you see the faint lines of prophecy that run through your life story, like silver threads weaving darkness into dawn. Those moments of despair were never wasted ink. They formed the letters of a divine manuscript that only you can read. Feel the weight of each word, each trial, as it settles into your hands, and understand that your testimony is the living testament of hope unfolding in real time. In a half-forgotten dream, you stand at the edge of an ocean of stars, each one a promise of what could be. This symbol speaks to your awakening. You are both voyager and constellation, navigating cosmic currents with a heart refined by fire. As the waves of possibility crash at your feet, you recognize that your path is made of miracles disguised as missteps. The water's glow is the echo of every quiet miracle that once went unnoticed. Each breath you drew in the dark was a light preparing you to shine in the vast expanse of eternity. What if the whisper you heard in the empty church at midnight was more than wind through broken panes? That gentle voice was the echo of ancient covenant, the same voice that called Abram when stars numbered more than sand. Genesis 15 verse 5. It reached you in moments of solitude, urging you to trust a design larger than your doubts. This whisper did not speak of escape but of transformation. You were chosen to carry an ember of that eternal promise, to carry it into every room where fear once reigned, and to fan it into a beacon of deliverance. Remember the symbol of the cracked clay jar from the vision of the prophet? It stood broken on the altar, yet light poured through every fissure, illuminating the entire chamber. You are that jar, and your fractures are the channels through which your brilliance escapes. Those who tried to mold you into something flawless and fragile misunderstood. Your strength lies in your authenticity, in the way your brokenness becomes the very design that releases your radiance. Hold this image close, for it is the key to living powerfully in an imperfect world. Ask yourself, when did you first sense the turning of seasons within your soul? The moment when leaves fell from old beliefs and buds of revelation broke through the frozen ground of your mind. That was your true spring. In that awakening, you stepped into a cycle older than calendars, older than kings and empires. You tapped into the rhythm of renewal itself, the same pulse that raised dry bones to stand and breathe again. Ezekiel 37 verses 1 to 14. Let this seasonal shift be your guide. As winter yields to spring, so your inner world yields to its own resurrection. Through the ancient ruins of your memories, you uncover a hidden courtyard where sunlight never left. There, you once played as a child of destiny, free from hesitance, guided by an unspoken knowing. That courtyard still exists inside you, walled by faith and tended by hope. Return there in your mind and reclaim the joy you thought lost. Let it infuse your daily steps with childlike courage, reminding you that even amid rubble, life springs eternal and laughter can shatter the hardest stones. Contrast the weight of yesterday's burdens with the lightness of today's call. You carry no longer the heavy sack of fear, but a quiver filled with truth-tipped arrows. Your every intent finds its mark, whether in quick decisions at work's crossroads, in the tender words you offer friends, or in the silent resolve that steadies you before a storm. This is the transformation in action. What was once a tentative hope has become a living force that shapes even the smallest choices, aligning fate with your heart's true north. A prophecy now unfolds on the horizon of your becoming. You will not merely survive the fires you walked through, you will lead others through them. Your journey is the torchbearer's legacy, lighting paths in the darkest nights. Hear the chorus of unseen legions rising with your name on their lips, echoing through valleys of doubt and over mountains of fear. As you step forward, understand that every footfall is a drumbeat of victory. The world awaits the fullness of what only you were made to reveal, a light so sacred that all shadows must bow in its presence. A sudden glimmer of dawn on a dewy leaf stirs a memory of innocence reclaimed. You remember the first time you felt the world breathe with you, when morning light spilled across your window and you sensed an unseen hand guiding your steps. That simple communion with the daybreak was never coincidence. It was the whisper of divine choreography reminding you that each sunrise mirrors your own renewal. Now, let that gentle glow settle into your spirit, for it signifies that every new beginning within you resonates with the cosmic heartbeat of creation. What if the ripple of wind through autumn branches was telling a story you only now begin to understand? Each rustle of golden leaves is a syllable in the language of change, teaching you to release what no longer serves and to embrace transformation as a sacred rite. In that natural symphony, you discover that every release, every shedding of old skins, carries a blessing hidden in its echo. Your personal autumn prepared you for the harvest of purpose that awaits. And as the breeze stirs once more, feel the call to gather your strengths for the season ahead. In the stillness between heartbeats, a prophecy forms. You are the promise of light reanimated. Think of the ancient shofar's call piercing the quiet, awakening slumbering souls. That same resonance pulses within you, urging all that lies dormant to awaken in harmony with your own declaration. This is not myth but waking reality. Your life stands as a living testament that the Creator's trumpet has sounded, summoning every hidden aspect of your being to step into its ordained place. An inner voice you once silenced now speaks with authority. Rise, child of fire, and claim your mantle. These words flow like molten gold down your spine, coating your bones with the certainty of destiny. You have tasted the flames and emerged unshaken. Now you are called to wear your courage as an unbreakable crown. Let that voice guide your choices, for it carries the weight of both ancient covenant and future promise. In its echo, discover the power to transcend every barrier and to make the impossible your new threshold. Remember the symbol of the braided cord from your vision, a weaving of disparate threads into unbreakable unity. That is the tapestry of your alliances, your soul tribe bound not by circumstance but by shared purpose. Feel the strength of every hand that joins yours in solidarity, each strand adding resilience to the whole. Your mission expands beyond the self, knitting a collective force that will alter the fabric of reality. Stand in that fellowship and let the braided cord remind you that together you embody a power no singular spark could contain. A flash of silver in a moonlit puddle reveals an inner landscape mirrored by the heavens. You see a reflection not of yesterday's doubts but of tomorrow's promise. This mirror shows you as you truly are, a conduit of celestial light walking in human form. When you gaze into that pool, do not look for flaws, but recognize the divine signature etched into your essence. In that recognition lies the freedom to act without hesitation, knowing that the cosmos itself flows through your veins. In the hush of a forgotten chapel, candle flames dance without wind, as though responding to an unseen hymn. This sacred flame is your own soul song, rising in tune with the heavens. Let its warmth kindle every intention you set. Speak your vision aloud in that holy quiet, and watch as the flickering light becomes a roaring blaze of manifestation. Your words, once fleeting thoughts, now carry the force of creation itself, shaping reality in alignment with your innermost truth. A final invitation drifts on the air like a sacred incense. Come forward and stand in the full brightness of who you were destined to be. This is no mere suggestion. It is a summons echoing through the corridors of time, inviting your presence into the grand narrative of awakening. Comment aligned if you hear this call reverberate within your heart, and share a personal reflection. Be it a dream that guided you, a memory that healed you, or an inner knowing that moved you. This message is your rallying cry. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all our supporting members. And for full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Rise now, for you have become the sun.